See the bread rolls around on Monday, it hits. Slide up to you at the window while you're collecting shit. One it all might leave you a super chip. Same time of the week, let it be there. Have my people send a message, make sure that it's there. Time for me to collect, bring the shit over here. Cause you can tell them my face, don't make me come over there. For this video right here, I'm gonna be talking about the most expensive meal I ate while I was in prison. How I spent 250 bucks and fed the entire dorm. Check it out. Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch you with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. For those that are new to the channel, my name's Frog. And everything I talk about is prison related. Appreciate everybody that's been here for the long run. And I appreciate all the new people that just tuned in. For this video here, I'm going to be talking about the most expensive meal I ate while I was in prison. For anybody that's been locked up, knows. Prices change. Variety switches. You know, your canteen list may be better back then than it was now, or vice versa. Okay, but while I was incarcerated, I seen them switch the canteen list a couple times. Alright, and don't get me wrong, I done ate all types of different concoctions put together and different shit put together to where it's so many of them that I can not even remember. But for this one here, I do remember it, alright? And what it was is I spent over 250 bucks on this one meal while I was incarcerated. For anyone who's been to prison, and even for people who are on the streets, you think about it. 250 bucks is a lot to spend. You know what I'm saying? People don't even spend 250 on the streets sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, just recently, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I went and ate a $200 steak, some drunken Wagyu steak, you feel me, from the W, you know, but at the same time, that's still a lot of money to spend on food, especially when you're locked up. If you've been incarcerated before, you know what someone will do to you, what someone will do and what they will take to the extreme for $200. So to spend $250 on something to eat is just ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you why I did it, okay? And I'm going to tell you what it is I ate while I was in prison. Like, Dad, how do you spend $250? You don't even have access to that amount of much money. Yeah, I know. But what it was is I fed the whole entire dorm 1 year for Thanksgiving. I decided, you know what? I'm going to throw the biggest Thanksgiving there is, and I'm going to supply a bowl with a wrap, which is a tortilla on the side, for everybody in this whole dorm to eat. All right? And I'm going to tell you how I came up with the idea. So, when you're incarcerated and you have holidays coming up, people be looking forward to them holidays. You know what I'm saying? You could be sitting there with your homeboys, and you and your homeboys are talking about what y'all are going to do, what y'all going to get, what are you going to get into when the holiday comes. Like if you got Christmas coming up in a week, people are talking about what they're going to do on Christmas. Same thing with Halloween. Well, bitch, on Halloween, or hey, New Year's, boys, in a couple days, boy, I'm finna, on New Year's, I'm with this. People are talking about it. So, me and two of my homeboys, we were sitting there just vibing. Eating us some little bullshit, you know, ramen with some chips on it, you know, nothing major. We're sitting there bullshitting, and I'm actually sitting there, and this was around the time that I was, you know, trying to work out a little bit when I was incarcerated. So as everybody was eating the ramen with the chips and shit like that, yeah, I had a little bit of that, but I also was eating a tuna pack. And them shits were going for like $2.50. You know what I'm saying? Each one was like $2.50. So eating that shit straight out the pack as my two homeboys are talking back and forth about what they gonna throw down on Thanksgiving. So as I'm sitting there eating the tuna, you know, I hear them, you know, we're all right here in a little huddle. They're talking back and forth as I'm eating the tuna. And then, you know, I'm looking around as they're talking. And as I'm looking around and observing, I'm realizing that this dorm that I'm in right now, at least 80% of it didn't get no money. This was like the most brokest dorm I've ever been in my entire bid, okay? Which, you know, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. You know, if you hustle, then, you know, you got to get majority of your money on
on the compound from a different dorm. You know what I'm saying? When it's a broke dorm, you got to worry about people stealing. You know, there's certain things that you got to know how to comprehend when you find yourself in a dorm like this, you know. Are they going to steal? Are they going to be begging, you know? But as I'm looking around and realizing that this dorm is so broke, I also realized that the population in the dorm was majority older people. I'm talking about late 50s and up. You know, like they had me in this dorm where it was like there was so many people in prison that nobody on the streets cared about. Nobody on the streets was sending them nothing, making sure they know there's still someone out there that cares, or letting them know, hey, you still have family out here. You know, not all of them were, you know, doing a life sentence or 15 or 20 years. There were still some doing some baby bids, you know, but at the same time, it was such like a down feeling in the dorm, you know, miserable. So many people were miserable. They didn't get money, you know. Nobody sent them shit or anything like that. So as I'm eating the tuna pack and they're talking about this shit, I say, you know what, y'all boys? I want to feed the whole dorm. And my dog starts laughing. He says, what you talking about? I said, bro, I want to throw the biggest Thanksgiving. I want people in other dorms to know how we throwing down in H dorm over here. And he was like, hell no. I said, I'm dead ass serious. I said, look, I'll pay for it all. Y'all just help me whip it up. Y'all help me cook the shit, and I'm trying to supply the whole dorm a Thanksgiving meal. So whether you know me, whether you don't, whether you like me, whether you envy me, whether you hate me, no matter what it is, you're gonna know that white boy Frog's got a good heart at the end of the day. Because I ain't gotta feed all these old people who don't get no money. You know what I'm saying? And my homeboys were like, you for real? I said, yeah. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go around from bunk to bunk. And we're going to ask them if they're allergic to peanuts, or if they like mayonnaise, or if they're allergic to fish, anything like that. You feel me? So that way I don't mix it in there and then not like it. You know, all the condiments are going to go on the side. You feel what I'm saying? There's some people that won't eat it if it's got fish or sardines, and there's some people that will. So we literally had 4 days to figure this all out. Now, it was harder than it actually seemed, because not only was it, you know, difficult getting each person, you know, to tell us yes, 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 yes. You know, people who you don't know and people that don't know you, they want to know why you asking this shit. You know, you walk up to someone's bunk, hey, bro, hey, what's up, old school? Hey, you allergic to fish? Nah, all right. Skirt. You allergic to peanuts? Nah, all right. Skirt. Don't even tell nobody what I got going on. But then they're going to be like, what the hell this dude just asked me if I'm allergic to peanuts or fish for? You see what I'm saying? And little did they know, I was trying to like gift them with a decent meal on Thanksgiving. And I only wanted to do this because I felt bad for the people in the dorm. And I always remembered when I was little that as we got older, you know, Thanksgiving meant more to my peoples, like my dad, okay? When I was younger, Thanksgiving didn't really mean shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember getting $5 and running to McDonald's and stuff like that. You feel me? I remember, here you go, son, boom, go get your something to eat from the corner store or something. Thanksgiving wasn't really celebrated that often when I was real small. But as I got older, I remember my old boy telling me this was the best holiday to him because he got to stuff himself and eat, and he got to spend time with his family. And we all literally would come together, you know, and sit down and eat as a family at the table. Got a table in the house, in the damn, you know, kitchen area, like the dining room, that nobody sat at all year. That table was vacant the whole year. Nobody sat and ate together as a family at all, except for Thanksgiving night. You see? So once I seen it meant so much to my old boy as we got older, I'm like, you know what? I lost my old boy. I'm in prison. You know, this was my old boy's favorite holiday coming up. So I'm like, man, I'm going to take it out on these older people, and I'm going to help them put something in their stomach. You feel me? So that's what I wanted to do. So after we got the list and everything, seeing how many people are allergic to fish and peanuts and stuff like that, there's a difference from not wanting to eat it because you don't like it, or lying and saying you're allergic, or saying you don't like it and you never had it. You feel me? So I didn't want no one to know what I was really doing when I was asking them all that. Okay. Then after that, another thing that was a difficult that came along is you're only allowed to have $100 on your account. Like, you're allowed to have $5,000 or more, whatever you want inside of your account, but on your ID card, which lets you swipe Monday to Monday, they only put 100 on there. So if you have $5,000 in your inmate account, only 100 is going to be on your card. And then when Monday comes, whatever's absent, it'll roll into. You get what I'm saying? So if you spend 50 in that week and there's still 50 there, they're not going to add a fresh 100. They're just going to add another 50. You see, to make it equal 100. So I'm like, okay, what I'm going to end up doing is, I told my dogs, I said, look, I'll PayPal y'all. I'll give y'all real cash. I'll PayPal y'all. You feel me? I'll have it all, you know, to where you get your money like that. And either we could drop the money in your account, or we just use the money you have on your card, you know, in order to get the canteen. So, of course, one of my dogs was like, oh, you know, I can't do nothing with a PayPal, you know, and this, and okay, this and that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So now I got to find somebody in the dorm who don't have no canteen, who don't get money in their name. And I tell them, look, I give you 15 bucks, you let me drop this money in your account. And they went for it. So that's what it was. I'm talking about like old dudes, you know what I'm saying? Older people, you feel me, that don't get no money. So that's the route I went with. By the time I got it all in there, you know, I ended up getting like 3 cases of soup, 24 per case. 3 cases of soup. I also had to go around and ask everybody in the dorm who had a bowl, who didn't have a bowl. Like, I'd be like, hey, old school, you got you a bowl? Nah, what I need a bowl for? Oh, okay, I'll write down, boom, needs a bowl. So what I did is, I ended up having to buy, out of the whole dorm, I ended up having to buy like 24 bowls. Almost the same amount as a case of soup, which is 24. So I bought 24 bowls, but there was like 20 people who told me they didn't have a bowl. You see? And when I had this shit coming together, and I had people in there throwing down, whipping it up, my 2 homeboys was in there doing most of the whipping. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really cook majority of it, you know. And it was such a hassle that at the end of the day, when everybody was eating and everybody was happy, I was miserable. You ever been around something so long and seen so much of it that you don't want to look at it no more? That's how I felt about the goulages. That's how I felt about the soups and all that, because we had to get like 4 trash bags. One bag we had to break all the soups up in, then we had to add water, transfer it over to this one. Another one we had to mix all the chips and shit together. I ended up getting like 15 bags of Flamin' Hots, like 15 bags of Doritos, 15 bags of Cheetos. Every chip you could think of, I got 15 bags of. You know what I'm saying? Tunas, I ended up getting like 20 tunas. You feel me? Just so if people like tuna, we had a bag of just straight tuna on the side where you could get you a spoon and you could put your shitload of tuna on top of your bowl. You feel me? Each tuna was like $2.50 a piece. You know what I'm saying? And it worked out fine. The hardest thing to get was the last day, right when the cooking all started. The guard gave me a hassle about hitting the canteen window. So when it came time for me to finally hit the canteen window and I made my way out there, I had to get 50 cheese squeezes. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes you can't buy all these things at the window at once. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to let you go there and be like, yeah, I want 100 cheese squeezes. It don't work like that. So you literally got to get the people whose name you got in their account. You got to get them out there in line with you. So then you be like, okay, let me get 15 cheese squeezes. Bro be like, oh, I need 15 of them. Oh, I need 20 of them. And then that's how you got to do it to work together. You know what I'm saying? And it blew my mind, because once everything was in the dorm, once we had all the food and everything inside of the day room and everybody was whipping that shit up, chopping that shit up, you know, we had one bag literally filled with refried beans that we were blowing up. I had to get, you think about it, there's six or 8 tortillas in one pack of tortilla wraps. You know how many packs of those I had to buy? Because I wanted everybody to have a tortilla wrap. So you do the math. If there's 8 per pack, you know what I'm saying? I had to buy like 10 to 12 packs of tortilla wraps just so everybody would get a bowl and a wrap. You see what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I ended up like cutting a deal with one of the canteen dudes. He told me he would give me a deal on the Sprites because I wanted to get everybody like a drink, right? So I was like, man, at the end of the day, you know, there's a water fountain in this shit, you feel me? Once I started seeing how much it started adding up, I'm like, man, you know, I wasn't really paying attention at the moment. The first 200 went out the window, and I wasn't even paying attention. But then when I was like, man, now I'm trying to get everybody a Sprite, you know, I wasn't able to get everybody a Sprite because there was no way for me to hit the canteen window like that. But I did get 60 cans of Sprite in time to where people just had to break it down. You know what I'm saying? Either you have a cup or you don't, or you get half a can. That's the best I was able to do. But when it came out, I spent over 250 bucks. And that was my most important meal that I ever had. Most expensive meal I ever had. And it made me feel good while I was in prison because I was able to do that for the less fortunate. You understand? And when everybody was eating and shit, the dorm was so quiet. Like this. See that? How you don't hear nothing? That's exactly what I heard on that Thanksgiving. Everybody was enjoying that meal. Whether they liked me or not, you know, whether they, you know, envied me, they didn't really fuck with me like that. They didn't say nothing. At the end of the day, they was over there and they slept better that night and they had them a meal inside their stomach because of Frog. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to do that. Literally, I did not have to do that. You feel me? And I just wanted to do something different. And that ended up being my most expensive meal while I was in prison. You know, getting soups and chips here and there and drinks and burritos and tunas and oatmeal and cereals and different shit like that. You know, you don't really catch on to how much you spend throughout your bid. You're going to spend a lot of money, believe it or not. Okay? You're allowed down here in the state of Florida, you're allowed to get 100 a week. I was running through 100 a week faithfully and still put some in somebody else's account just so I'd have more than one locker filled with food. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to be one of them ones that had access to it but didn't want to spend it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I was doing. You know, I wanted to make sure people felt good on Thanksgiving. And that's what I did. So I wanted to drop this video and let y'all know my most expensive meal was the one on Thanksgiving that I did for the whole dorm. You feel me? I ain't see nobody else do that while I was in there. Everybody else was greedy. Nah, they want to hold all their money. They want to make sure they're the only ones eating good on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't care about all these other people. They don't even stop to think about it. But what it was is I had more than enough to give. And I felt like if I'm up and I got more than enough to give, only good can come out of it. You know what I'm saying? Doing good deeds lead back to good things for you. You feel me? Which sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, you know? But at the end of the day, I felt good for doing it. You feel me? And by there being no noise and nobody was talking, everybody was just eating, I knew for a fact they appreciated it, whether they admitted it or not. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, to spend that in one damn day, just to have everybody have everything done and boom, 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 for it to all be there and boom, be gone like that, when I could have did so much other with that 250 bucks. Just to do that right there was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget that. You know, because you're locked up for holidays. You ain't got access and can't get your hands on the things that you want to get your hands onto. You know, you feel like you're left out. Everybody out there on the streets eating good for Thanksgiving, eating turkey and all this shit and hanging out. You feel me? They don't give you the best meals, you know, on holidays when you're locked up. They give you something decent. You know, you might get a little piece of turkey. Lunch meat, though, it isn't like turkey on the bone. You feel me? So they kind of like, so not only are you going to have that, and everybody looks forward to that, you know, because it's different than the trays you get throughout the whole year. Only holiday trays, you like catch your attention. So, of course, everybody's looking forward to that. But on that Thanksgiving right there, they will never, ever forget that they was more satisfied off of the bowl with the tortilla wrap that Frog paid for them to eat. And then when their next holiday comes, their next Thanksgiving, they'll always remember. Wasn't no Thanksgiving like that one white boy Frog, boy, he fed the whole dorm. He didn't even know my name and I got a bowl. That's how it was, you feel me? Because like I said, these were older people and they didn't really have shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wouldn't have did this in a dorm with a bunch of young cats or nothing like that, because the next day would have turned it around and made it look like they made me do that. Or, oh, he's sweet, look what he did. No, ain't none of that. I did this because I wanted to feed the older people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, more than 80% didn't get money, and they were older. You know what I'm saying? There was literally, like, I'd say 15, if that, young cats in this dorm. You see what I'm saying? So, it was like, you know, they were all like unks to us. They were all old school, hey pops, hey this, hey that. You know, they were older. So I felt like it was the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Would you do it? If you had that to do, if you had that to give, would you do it? What's the most expensive meal you ate while you was locked up? You feel me? $250 is a lot. I could have got someone wet up. I could have got someone robbed. I could have got a phone. There was so much different things that I could have done with that. I could have got cartons of cigarettes and just flooded the pound and turned the damn carton into 2,000 if I wanted to. You feel me? But instead, I fed everybody, told everybody don't worry about it, nothing like that. And at the end of the day, it was cool because majority of them, like I said, I didn't even know their names. We just called them old school. But the majority of them had no idea that I funded it all myself. They just seen all of us young cats, you know, cutting it up, cutting it, you know what I'm saying, cutting all the pickles down, cutting the summer sausage down, you know, getting all the condiments and shit. We had like a bowl filled with mustard, had a bowl filled with mayonnaise, bowl filled with A1 steak sauce. You know what I'm saying? Had bags filled with tuna, bags filled with refried beans, bags filled with soup, like, and we put everybody a bowl together, and they came in line, looked like we was in a damn food shelter. They came in and we handed them a bowl. Put the wrap on top. Put the wrap on top. Oh, you got a bowl? Gotcha. With the gloves. Handful, huh? Handful, huh? There's your tortilla. And then there's the condiments if you need it. That's how I went. You feel me? It literally, I felt good by doing that. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, I'll always remember that. And I felt like dropping this video with y'all because one of my subscribers actually wrote me on Snapchat and was like, Frog, what was your most expensive meal when you was in prison? And I told him, man, that actually right there, I told him about it, and I said, man, that makes me want to put a video together for it. Shout out to you, the Bay. You know who you are, you feel me? But anyways, y'all drop in the comment section, man. Let me know what your most expensive meal was. Y'all let me know if I'm a fool for doing that or if that was a good thing to do that. Would you find it in your heart to do that same thing for the people who are less fortunate? Like I said, older people who really ain't got shit. You're in the dorm with them for a while, so you peep if they get money. You peep if people send them shit. You peep if they get on the phone. You peep if they have Vizzo. You peep this stuff without even paying attention. You just happen to see it because they're around you all the time. You'll know. You feel me? You'll know he don't get no money. You know that boy ain't calling home. Don't nobody care about him. And I remember on the cell phone telling old school people, man, hey man, you know, I'll let you reach out to your peoples, you know, if you want to call somebody on the streets or whatnot. I used to do stuff like that to the older people because I felt like if I offered them it, and whether they took it to offer or not, they would still appreciate me asking them, you know, and they'll keep an eye out if any, like, suspiciousness is going on, and then it'll actually prevent them from telling on me because they'll be like, oh, he's a cool dude. He's over here charging people $15 for 3 minutes to get on the phone, but he actually pulled me to the side and say, hey, old school, I'll get you on there for free. You know, I'll let you skip the line if you got to call any of your peoples or anything like that. I used to try to friend these older people because those are going to be the eyes and the ears of the dorm, even when you're not around. When you have 101 things going on or where you can't pay attention to every single thing, there's going to be other people that you actually offered to get on the phone for free that are going to pay attention for you, and you're not going to really know this. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to asking these people if they want to reach out to their families and all that, and you realize out of 100% in the dorm, like I said, there's 80% that are old, and you know, you ask these people this, and then out of these fucking, say 60, 70 older people, you know, only 3 or 4 of them actually take you up on that offer, you know, then that's when you realize, like, damn, you know, there's a lot of people in here that don't nobody give a fuck about. You feel me? And that's the whole reason why I felt like doing that. If you would have did the same thing, let me know in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? How do you think they felt? Whether they liked me or not, do you think they appreciated it? Or do you think they was just like, it's garbage ass shit, I don't even know why I'm eating it. I'm just eating it to make him look like I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You never know, to be real with you. And at the end of the day, that's cool. I don't care if they did or didn't appreciate it because it made me feel good as a human myself. Because like I said, I had more than enough to give. You feel me? It isn't like I was on my walking on eggshells and just had just a barely enough to get by. You know what I'm saying? When you got more than enough to give and you know you won't miss it, in 2 days, you're going to forget all about spending that. It feels good to give somewhere where it is needed. And I felt like even though it wasn't fully they needed it or they wanted it, you know, I just felt like I'm going to go ahead and bam. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, y'all. But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all watching. I felt like sharing this video with y'all, man. There y'all have it. That's my most expensive meal I ate while I was in prison. Spent $250 and some change just to feed the whole entire open bay dorm. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way out if you ain't hit it on the way in. Keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, fucking people that get in that interrogation room and sell a whole McDonald's, telling police shit that they ain't even asked. Keep them people that lie on YouTube, anything for views, that can't take the trolls when the trolls come. Keep them out your circle, man. And remember, at the end of the day, you are your team. You feel me? And if that motherfucker walk like a duck and it look like a duck, that shit's a duck. Keep that shit out your circle, man. Till next time, this the one and only Frog.